Hey, welcome back to the channel and to kind of a surprise video. I hadn't really planned on putting anything out this week or for the next couple of weeks because I've got a bunch of other stuff going on, but the reason I'm putting out this video, quick version of the story, as I'm sure you've all been in the same position. A couple of days ago, just flicking through stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and I found a listing for not one, not three, but two Honda Streams for parts, a facelift and a pre-face. So one the same shape as mine and one the other shape. But pretty much everything is transferable, so you can pull stuff off one car and put it onto the other and so on. It's pretty much all interchangeable for the most part. So messaged the guy and said, look, I need some stuff for the interior of mine, nothing special, like clips, and like I'm really bad for like screw covers and like seat bolt covers and stuff. Like I like to have all of that kind of stuff, even though I know it makes no difference to the car whatsoever, but I just like to have that kind of stuff. So anyway, but I said, look, you're about 2.5 hours from me. He was in Bray, which is County Wicklow. Just a little bit past Dublin, but I said, if you could do me a deal, reasonable deal, I'll take a bunch of stuff. So he said, yeah, look, we'll give me this much and you can take whatever you want, essentially. So that's the short version of the story. So what I've come up with is all of this. This was the main part of the stuff I was looking for. I have this in my car, but I was missing this one. So obviously in his car it had both, so we took both. Let me zoom out a bit for you. I have that door there for where the jack goes, but I was missing the little twisty clip, so it was always loose. That ashtray pocket there, the spring that holds it closed, was broken in mine, so I just took the whole ashtray. I needed a few little screw hole covers. I needed a seat bolt cover. I needed that grommet there. I'll show you why in a couple of minutes. And then just other random stuff, like I took all the door handles in my car. The chrome is chipped on one of those, so I'll replace that. I found a cool doubled in radio block off plate. Now it is a little broken, but probably not going to use it anyway. Factory ashtrays, which is kind of cool. One sits in the door pocket and the other one sits in a small side pocket on the door card, which is pretty cool. I got now my one of these isn't broken, but mine is grey, and it was missing that little thing for the shift lock right there. So this one was black and I took that one, but the reason I took that one is because in his car, the central console around the radio is the black carbon, whereas on mine it's silver carbon. I'll explain what I mean in a minute. That noise you just heard there was my knees cracking. So in his car, as I said, that was black. All these controls are black, but the trim along the door there is the black carbon, whereas mine again is the silver carbon. I'll show you all that in a couple of minutes. A few other extra bits, like one of the side mouldings there on mine is kind of cracked, so I took that, just extra little bits. The spoiler on my car, that's the cover for where it screws in, that was missing on mine. I also took the entire front bumper off of it. It had, I don't know what lip it is, I'll do my research again. So it's either Honda Access or it's a Modulo, I'm not sure which it is, but that car only had that front lip on it. It had no rear lip or anything like that, and the rear bumper was slightly different. And also it has those on it now. They're not screwed on, they'll come off with a bit of heat, it'll be fine, but that bumper is in pretty good condition. So my thinking was, I was going to take the driver's door and I was going to take the driver's front wing, because realistically it'd be a lot easier for me to just unbolt them off my car, because if you've seen the first video, introductory video, you'll see they're a different shade of white. My logic was that it'd probably be easier to just swap the whole door and the whole wing instead of painting it. But for where they were, I'll put a picture here now where they were in the guy's yard. The one the same shape as mine was right up against the fence, you couldn't get at it, and then the other car was right up against that, so it was awkward to get any of this stuff out as it is, let alone to be trying to get at a door. And now I may go back up. I've spoken to him since and he said we could move them. I might go back up, but at the same time I'd have to strip all the wiring out of the door, to take the door off, take the front wing off, and to take the front wing off I have to take the side skirt off to get at one of the bolts, and they're glued on and stuff. So it might be easier when it comes time to paint. It might be easier just mask the hell out of everything very carefully and just paint the wing and the door on the car. But aside from that front bumper is in a bit better condition than the one that I have, so that might clean up really nice, because mine has a lot of cracks and splits and stuff in it all over it, so it might be better off just throw that one on because it's easy. While I was there, I took the headlights and the grille, because you never know, and then that bonnet as well. Not only is it tiny, but on mine there's a big bunch of chips in it there where someone down the line has just dabbed some paint on it and never even tried to flatten it or anything. So that bonnet is in really, really good shape. So a wash and maybe a little buff, I'm going to put that straight onto the car as it is. I'll probably even do that today. I'd say maybe even the bumper, I don't know, but I'm not sure. The other difference in the bumper, as I'll show you in a minute, that has that shape fog lights in it. Now I was really hoping it would have the actual light itself, which it doesn't. It just has the cover and a little blanking plate there on that side. I have the one for over there. Now, it looks good, you know, with those fog lights in it. So I could just order, you know, a generic, whatever that is, 2 or 3 inch spotlight and make some kind of little bracket and stick them onto it. But I'm not entirely opposed to the fog lights that are on the car either. I'll show you all of this in a second. But for now, that's the haul that I got. So let's move some of this stuff out of the way. We'll bring in the car. And I'm very excited to start swapping in some of like that black carbon stuff and the few extra little bits that I'm missing. I'm very, very hyped. So let's bring the car in. Right, we got the car in. So let's close the door. Hang on a second now. Right, so very quickly, let me just show you a couple of the differences I was talking about. They're the fog lights that are currently on the car. They don't look bad. Right, they don't look bad at all. So I don't know, maybe I'll leave them for the time being. I probably will just leave them alone, I'd say. As I said, that front bumper has some damage. Like it's got, well, you can't tell now because it's filthy. We've got some damage there. It's got, well, that damage is more so on the lip there. It's got a bit there, but I could probably, maybe I'm going to wash it actually later and see. That bumper's not as bad as I thought. Okay, right. The other damage on the bonnet I was talking about, you can see it across the light there. See all those shitty marks. So rather than me trying to, that just made it worse, trying to fix up those, I think I'm just going to put that other bonnet straight on because it's perfect, you know. So that'd be an easy job, I guess. Let's see. Okay, so the other differences, as I said, these are like the silver carbon, which I don't mind. Like I think it looks good. Same there as well, and you know it's the grey down here. But the steering wheel that's in it has the black carbon there, and I only noticed a couple of days ago, don't know if I'll be able to tell, but around the gauges there is the black carbon as well, just whatever way the sun hit it. A couple of days ago I noticed, so I figured if I could get all the black carbon, why not, you know? Now, the only difference is in the door panels that you just saw, the material here is black because the interior in that seat was black, but the centres was a horrible, ugly pattern. And I would have taken them in a heartbeat and had a black interior instead of the grey seats. But the pattern, that pattern was disgusting. It looked like some old man's jacket he'd wear to mass, stink of fags or something like it. It would look terrible, so I left it behind. And what I was initially going to do was just pop off the entire door panel and just swap these ones straight on, rather than trying to figure out how you get that black carbon piece off. But because this is black and the rest of my interior is grey, it would look kind of weird. So I think I'll just pop the door panels off and swap the silver carbon bits for the black ones. I don't think it'll be too difficult to swap out. Some of the other stuff that I was missing, like I said, like I'm missing a bolt cover there and a couple of other things. You can't really tell, but stuff back there I'm missing. So, oh my goodness. I think first thing first is swap out. We'll do that first. Right, now, so some of you might remember, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen a couple of weeks ago, I changed all the bulbs in that centerpiece. So I'm probably going to have to pull them out again, because I sincerely doubt those ones work, but you never know, they might. But I think just for argument's sake, I forgot I have to move that arc. Will I get away with that? No. Okay, hang on, I gotta get the keys. By the way, if anybody watching knows a way to get rid of that fucking beep and the and the keys are in it, please let me know in the comments. Now, I've researched it. I think the thing that makes the beep is actually built into the gauges themselves, so I don't think it's an easy thing to change or to get rid of. God, I would love to get rid of it. It's one of the most annoying things ever. It drives me mental. But anyway, we'll get this off. Now, there was a different gear knob on the what we call donor car. It was like just chrome in the middle, but it was actually kind of ugly, so we decided against that. Now, kind of careful with this guy. Because while I'll probably never use any of this stuff again, I will keep it. And like I'm sure a lot of you can understand, if you have a car that's hard to... Right, I just popped that one back in. If you have a car that's hard to get parts for, you always keep them if you can find extras or spares or whatever the case might be, because it can be a nightmare to find stuff, let alone pay for it, you know. So let's get this out of here and I'll be back when we have it all swapped in. Oh, what the fuck? That's weird. Right, I don't know if you'll be able to see that now on the camera, but just across here and across here, the pattern is kind of squished, and it looks like as if it got bent, like it got bent that way maybe. I wonder was that, I don't know if that was like that when I took it out, or maybe that happened yesterday when I put it in the car, and when I was driving home maybe there was something sitting on it. It's disappointing, I suppose, but it's not the end of the world. That doesn't really matter, I suppose. Right, we'll keep going. That looks good. That looks nice. I really need to do something with that radio. Get that cheap radio out of it. But yeah, that looks pretty good now. It is definitely ever so slightly bent out of shape. You can see it just there, but I'm not going to be too worried about it now. I think it's enough. God, that beeping is so irritating. Second. Okay, I think I'll get you out of there. I think we can all agree that looks pretty nice. So we have the black carbon thing on the clocks, the black carbon finish on the steering wheel, if you can see it. Can you? You get the idea. And the black carbon there. I didn't realise till I was switching it as well that the buttons and the dials, see, they're kind of rounded off on that side. They're square on this one. But yeah, looks good. Cool. So I think in keeping with the black carbon theme, I'll start popping the black carbon bits off the door panels and we'll get them put onto these door panels. Okay, next I think I'm missing a couple of these guys, 2, maybe even 3 of them I think. That goes in the back. This guy goes in the back, and that door there, we'll come and get that in a minute. I'm gonna dump all that stuff here, all that stuff there for a second. We'll go get some tools. And we'll be right back. Okay, you know, to be fair, you probably can't see anything because the sun glare in your face. But if you can see, the little handle guy is missing. That's all it is. I keep forgetting to put the jack back in there. Actually, I better do that later. So that guy goes there and just twist closed. Perfect. Cool. Little stuff like that just drives me crazy. Okay, next thing we're missing is there's a couple of these little like luggage tie downs or whatever you want to call them. Not that I ever expect to need these, like, but you never know. At the same time, I guess, like, the car was loaded up with gear yesterday. There was the bumpers and the door cards and all the stuff that you've seen, and I guess it probably would have been no harm to have brought, like, you know, bungee cord kind of thing or something, and you could tie stuff down if you were so inclined, I guess. But even just to have these, it's better than an empty bolt hole essentially. I think it just looks better. So there's one more, I think, in there that I'm missing. Yeah. Now I'll show you now. It looks like there should be a cover over them, but I guess not. I mean, including my own car, that's 3 streams that I've seen in person, and the cover wasn't on any of them. So I guess maybe you're not supposed to have a cover on it, but looks better than nothing. As you can see there is a little, like a panel cover. I'll show you now, hang on a second. When you fold down the seats, you pull the seat back, flip that forward, and then flip this guy down. It continues on the flat floor over there. So now I was missing one side, but that is what we've got right here. So make sure I did bring the right side, didn't I? Yeah, I did. It would be just my luck that I didn't. So has it got, oh, it's got a broken clip. I didn't realize. That's not the end of the world, I guess. So that one goes in there, that sits into a notch. It needs a hoover, but not bad. So now you can see I have a full proper flat floor across the back. Okay, we've got another little, it was like a factory optional ashtray. Put it in there, looks kind of cool. I think maybe there was meant to be a spring, but it's gone too. I don't smoke, so I don't know, unless one of the kids starts smoking, but we'll have it. Turn that off now, it's probably red hot. This is another, what I think is an optional extra, yeah, because it's got a Honda part number or Honda logo up here, so it was just a bit stink of cigarettes. So yeah, it's pretty manky. It doesn't smell too bad. I might give it, yeah, let's give it another round in the cleaner. This is one of my favorites of the stuff I was missing. Like I said, I'm annoyingly particular. Oh, there we go. About stuff like that. There we go. So next step now. So as you can see on the driver's side, there's the grommet that comes down there, and the light is shaped accordingly. It's for wiring or whatever it is. And on this side, there's nothing. There's just the pipe there. But you can see where there was a grommet at some point. Now, as it's obviously the light is wrong. So, as I've said before, this is kind of a Frankenstein of 2 different streams. Now, if I remember right, I think I said in the first video that this car had the front of the other shape, but I think it's actually the back, because when I was at the guy's place yesterday, as you saw in the photo earlier, he had one of this shape and he had one the other shape. But the interior and all that stuff on the one that's the same shape as mine was the same. But the back bumper, the back lights and the boot lid on my car were different, but were the same as what's on the other car. So I think it's actually the whole back end that's been swapped onto this car. So because of that, this light doesn't have that shape for the grommet. So now, realistically, that'll never get pinched. It's just the pipe for the washer jet. But when I was there yesterday, I pulled the grommet from the other side. So I think I'm going to do is make a little template off that light, transfer it onto this one, and just cleanly notch that, just so I can have that, just so it's never get pinched around, because if something like that starts to leak, it'll be a disaster. So let's do that. I just thought I'd check in there. We've got the bonnet switched over. The gap's pretty good. Took a little bit of tweaking. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Now I might look back on the footage from the other episodes and see how much of a gap was there, because there's quite a big gap there, like it's the width of your fingernail. So maybe the bonnet needs to come down this way a bit. But for now, I think it's okay. I'll double check the other footage and see. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Obviously, it's filthy. It'll need to get washed and polished, but it'll save me having to paint the old one there. Okay, the carbon is done on the door panel. So it turned out to be a bit more of a job than I expected it to be honest. So I'll let you have a look. And it looks really good. Very, very nice. And as I said, it all matches throughout the car. I don't need to show you every single door, but like I said, got it on the driver's door there, all the other doors obviously, on the steering wheel. It's all on the inside as well. Very, very cool. So I'm super pleased with that. Now, as I was saying, it turned out to be a bit more of a job than I expected it to be. I thought it would be like a lot of Hondas, like I mentioned earlier, that it would just pop. They would just pop out on a couple of clips or whatever. But let me show you what actually happens, or how you do it if you're ever so inclined to do it yourself. So obviously, sits on the door. Sits on the door like that. Oh, I'm dropping everything. Hang on. Sits on. Okay, that's the wrong side, but you get the idea. Sits on the door like that, and I thought there'd be a couple of screws or a couple of clips. Turns out that there is one screw, and then what looks like other screw holes, it's actually like the plastic welded on. So in the factory they just melt that together. So I just got my little where is he, this guy, and just ground the plastic off. Very, 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 very simple. And then just popped them out, put the new ones back in. I was going to hot glue them back in, but there's a tab on either end, it holds it in, one right there, and a larger one, where is it, right there. The combination of the two of those plus the screw, and they're fine. They sit really, really good. So that's pretty much, I think that's everything. Aside from, there's one or two other small things, a couple of screw covers that I put on that I forgot to film, but it is what it is. You don't need to see any of that stuff. So a big shout out to, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. It was Kamil. I don't know if it's Camille, Kamal, something like that. I don't know. Eastern European guy. I forgot to ask him where he was from now that I think of it. But anyway, for an incredible deal on all the parts. I'm very, very tempted to go up again. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a few things that I've spotted that I don't need. Like, to be honest, I wish I wasn't like this, because every time I get a new car, I'm like, oh, I could buy this and I could buy that just in case I ever need them, and then I never need them. And if the day comes and I sell the car, it's just more stuff I have to sell. So I don't know. Realistically, probably not going to go back up, but just in my own head, knowing now that the car is complete inside, it makes me so happy. Now, I didn't get a chance to wash that bonnet, and quite frankly, it's getting a bit cold now, so we're going to leave that for another day. But give me your opinion in the comments. Do you prefer that bumper with those fog lights in that bumper, or do you think, no, I know it's kind of hard to imagine there, like, but those fog lights, or even just the blanks, because I could blank them off, but I do like having fog lights, and fog lights look good on any car. as I said before. So let me know in the comments which one you think you'd go for. But other than that, that's a lot of small little jobs done. I have a lot of tidying up to do and a lot of plastic to get off myself from grinding those things out. So thanks for watching. We'll see you again pretty soon. Like I said, kind of an impromptu episode. I didn't plan on doing anything, so the episode's a bit higgledy-piggledy, but it is what it is. Follow me on Instagram. All the stuff is down here. The Car Club page is starting to kind of grow. So that's Rise Car Club on Instagram and on TikTok. Send me a message on either of those. I got a bunch of air fresheners and stickers made. I'm sending them out for free, just the first run. So send me a message on Instagram or what's it called? TikTok. And let me know. I'll post you one. And thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Peace.